Hey, welcome back to the next episode of Yamo. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. And today we have Reflection 338 and a brand new book. This book is one part reflection. You may hit the gold vein once in a while, but then after that, it runs out. So maybe.
Yep. That's actually the reflection of this one. It's called Permission to Fail is the reflection title. The book is The Five Dysfunctions of a Team, a Leadership Fable by Patrick Lencioni. I thought this was going to be kind of like in the Go-Giver vein or, Who Ate My Cheese or something. It's like a business fable, where you learn the lesson of teamwork and blah, blah, blah. People recommended this as one of the top 20 business books of all time to read. I was like, okay, I'll check it out, whatever. Hated it. Everything that there was to I hated every moment of this book. It was horrible. Mainly, there's a key reason why this book defines success of any group of people coming together to accomplish a goal as a clearly defined outcome. That is the goal of bringing a group of people together is we are here to accomplish this clearly defined outcome, right? Immediately from the jump, I was like, that's the sole purpose. If that's the sole purpose of a team, I fundamentally disagree. Because, you and I define success of a group of individuals coming together with a shared purpose to help produce meaningful work and meaningful relationships, and then the outcomes are what the outcomes are, right? Like, I don't really care. I don't think either one of us are going, oh, hey, we're getting together to build a $1 billion unicorn to help do this. And if we don't do that, then we don't need to exist. You know what I mean? Like, that is not how we define success as a team. And that's not what we even care about. We could give two shits whether or not this, Clubany, could become the new Catholic Church for all I care and have billions of dollars of endowments like Harvard or whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't think you would either. Did we have fun doing it? Did we do what the people we like to do? Was the work fulfilling, and were the people around that you did the stuff with fulfilling for you? Then that's what the goal of a team should be, coming together, right? Not some fucking defined outcome. So first off, I fundamentally disagreed with the book, and immediately, like, I couldn't get my brain past that. It was like roadblock right out the gate, and I'm like, all right, I'll keep going on it just to see how this shapes out. It didn't. It just even got worse. It was all about numbers and productivity and everybody achieving a goal together. So here's where the reflection comes in, right? So I started writing this reflection, and it took me like an hour and a half to because we're on book 338. We were just talking about this a few books ago. This is the marathon 365. I'm on mile marker probably 24.6 at this point in time. And I'm trying to cruise in, and I'm churning through books, and I'm like, we're gonna get there. Finish this book. It's a new book, obviously. And I sit down to my computer the next morning, like I always do. And I'm getting ready to type out my thoughts on it. And I'm like, I can't get past the fact that I was like, I hated this book. It sucked. Like, I didn't learn anything from it. Like, it was like, I mean, there was, if anything, it almost tried to undo stuff that I didn't want to undo. And I'm like, and go in a different path. And I'm like, nope, this is stupid. This is dumb stuff. So I'm sitting there, I'm typing away. I'm trying to figure out, some reflection. I'm pulling shit out of my ass, and I'm just writing around. And I knew when I got done with this particular reflection, I was like, I know this was not my best work. And I was like, I know I just forced this one out of me. I didn't feel good after normally when I finish these, I feel really good. Normally I'm like, oh, that was good. I sometimes even like air high five Amelia or something, I'm walking down the stairs to go get Luca or whatever. But I knew for a fact, I was like, what am I doing writing this? This isn't even any good. So fast forward, every night we meet like you and I do, and I'm telling you this. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember this at all? Is this ringing a bell?
Right.
That's fine. So fast forward, after I forced something out of me into a book that I didn't even like, I come to our Yomo meeting, and we're talking about whatever book we're talking about. And I told you, I was like, I just finished this shitty book, and I just wrote this reflection. I was like, I'm not loving what I did. You basically were like, well, then what are you doing? Then don't write it.
So why are you doing it?
I go, what do you mean? Why am I doing it? It's like, this is Yomo. This is what I got to do.
Nothing.
We ended up having this long conversation, and you're like, you know what? You don't have to do it. If you don't like the book and you didn't learn anything, then that's fine. And it got me thinking, you always do a good job of checking me and keeping me back on purpose, right? Because you're like, if you didn't learn something, then don't write something you didn't learn. There's no requirements. Who made the requirements? This is when you started to get my brain thinking about like, yeah, you're right. I've just kind of put a lot of constraints on myself to be like, well, you finished a book and you got to write a reflection. And I'm like, I don't, why? Right. So right after you and I finished that conversation that day, late at night, I was like, you know what? I'm going to you have my brain thinking. I was like, I'm going to rewrite this thing. So I went back and I rewrote that reflection for the day, and I changed the title to Permission to Fail. It has nothing to do with the book at all. Right. It's just Like, it's okay. Sometimes you dig holes and they don't turn up any treasure, right? And that's okay. And sometimes it's okay to don't stop digging holes though, right? Because sometimes you hit the honey hole of Black Swan and then keep digging, right? Go back and revisit those books and do it again and again. As soon as this journey is over, I'm going back to some of my favorite books. I'm going to go reread them now, or I'm going to give myself permission to go, read the Team Arrival's 41 hours, 47 hours, whatever the hell that book was, on Audible. Because before I was terrified of it. I was like, I can't dedicate 47 hours of my time to this. Like, that'll take me a whole month. I won't be able to write. I won't be able to get, I'll be stuck at 338 for an entire month. Like, I mean, I can't do that. Like, and what if it's a shitty book? Like, and I can't even get a reflection out of it, So like, these were things that I was constraining myself on. And this was just a good reminder for myself to give myself permission to fail. Sometimes you strike out. It's okay. Keep trying to learn, keep growing, and keep doing it for the reasons why you're supposed to do it. And, it's okay to have permission to fail. Anyway, that was it. Thanks for your help.
Well, you're welcome. I mean, to me, my mission is to bring balance to myself. And anyone who wants to join in the quest is always welcome to join in. But this is essentially a perfect example of what I mean when we say balance. Because when you asked me before, would you take the red pill or the blue pill? And I say, you have to take them both, because how do I know which one is what? So in order for you to know what success is, there has to be failures. And failures is success. And success is failure. It doesn't sound like it's something that is easy to understand, but it's very simple. Right? Because when you say, hey, I failed to eat the frog, is that a success? Well, in my perspective, the success, because I don't want to eat the frog in the first place, and I failed to eat the frog. Right. I have succeeded in the perspective of the things that align to your core values. So when you read a book doesn't provide you with anything beneficial, any lessons, any reflection you can get out of it. The more you force it, the more harm you would do to make it. You're going to learn the thing you shouldn't be learning. Let's say you learn about the 5 dysfunctions of a team, right? And they tell you all the wrong things to do. Right. And you doing them, it counteracts the other positive thing you have learned, like don't run for trains. Right. The not run downhill, the behavior mistake, all that, it counteracts that. So you do more harm than good by and force yourself down something. It's like, hey, I'm gonna drink this poison, right?
And then I'm gonna reinforce why I drank the poison.
You're gonna drink the poison, and you have a bottle of poison, right? And you start drinking it, right? And they say, oh, I feel so bad, right? So you already know that this is against your core value. This is against what your being. You have to be who you are, kind of person you're being. So when you drink this poison, and you are hurting, right? So that is already a damage to this system. So imagine if I continue to take the bottle and force fed myself down to it. Right. So the thing is, it's damaging myself even more than before. And for me to recover from that damages, it takes even longer because of the amount of poison that I have been ingesting. So you think about it, if I drink the poison, I only get a little bit, right? And I stop. And with my immune system and with some medications and with some, neutralizer, whatever, I was able to recover quickly. So to me, that is a success. But I have failed to drink all of the poison, but I have succeeded in not killing myself. So this is what I'm saying is failure is success and success is failure, right? If imagine I drink everything, right? I have succeeded in drinking the poison, and I have failed in my other core values. So what is it that you want? You want to succeed in succeed's sake, or you want to have things that align with your core values? Because regardless of what it is, you have to live the kind of being that makes you you. And that's the only thing that matters. Like, hey, I can say, hey, I can dig a hole. And people say, well,
keep going.
Right? The thing is, at the same time, I don't want diamonds. Maybe I want something else. So why am I keep digging the hole? But if I were looking for a diamond, go ahead and because if you were looking at diamonds, you mind digging the holes.
Because there's so many the hole digging is like my brain's stuck on that right now for a second. Somebody could go, well, Chris, if you stop digging after like 5 feet, maybe 10 feet down, there's diamonds. Maybe 100 feet down, there's some new metal that no one's ever discovered before, right? I guess that could be true, but I didn't hit anything and I just wasted a lot of time. Why keep going on something that you don't?
But my point is that whatever that you want, how much value does that give you compared to the effort of digging the hole?
This is what I'm going to get at.
If you are so desire this diamond that nothing can deter you from the digging the hole, you will continue to dig the hole. Doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter what anyone said. You're gonna do it. This is the reason why.
Digging holes.
Because the thing is, that's what you desire. That's who you are. You if you're a beaver, you keep building dams. I mean, it's who you are, and you need to build dams to be satisfied with yourself. If you are looking for diamonds, you will keep digging holes, because digging the holes is a part of that explorations of diamond. You will like the process. But if the moment that you don't like the process, that means that the result wasn't desirable enough for you to ignore or look at digging as a chore. So when you drink something and your body tells you, hey, I don't want this, right? That means you're creating damage, because it's not aligning with who you are as a person. Because you, as a little example, has a certain need. You say, hey, I cannot drink this, methanol, right? Methanol is poison. It's methane alcohol. It's poison. You drink, you die. Or acid, or whatever. I drink, bleach. Let's say I drink bleach, right? I will die, because that is not kosher with my body.
Right.
And so that's who you are as a person, has a certain little need. In the metaphysical world, we have the other need, which you're talking about, the core value, the intangible, the abstract. You have those needs, and those need to be fulfilled as well. Just like I say, you as a Chris cannot be silent for a very, very long time. You need to express your thoughts, sure. Right? And also another example of core values is your need to learn, your need to explore. And this is what carries the challenge core value to you. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm saying is, you need that. And this is not something tangible, because the core values of learning, the core values of expressing oneself, like you, and the core value of challenge, it's not something tangible. It's something you manifest as a person. But from a literal to the metaphysical world, it's similar. It is relatable from one world to the next. And the thing is, in all the world we have, there has to be a balance. And that balance determines whether or not you enjoy your existence or you don't.
Right.
And failure is like I say, failure is success, and success for you, because when you say, hey, I have to drink certain things, right? And this is what I'm tell you before, is one of your core value was never quit. And I wholeheartedly object to that meaning of never quit, because, hey, look, there's certain things you want to quit because it's not good for you. It's not aligned with values.
I should have quit reading this book.
And I told you, remember, I quit reading the Let My People Go Surfing, because I told you, the more I read it, the more angry I get. It's
not good for you to go dig deeper down a hole. So hang on, the holes, I still got to go back to it really fast. So, in keeping with the idea of, pretty quickly when you start, I don't like digging, to be fair. Like I hear what you were saying about the whole beaver.
And the things down
values. Digging, the act of digging isn't something that I enjoy, right? The act of finding shit when I dig, and digging a lot of holes, is fun for me, right? So I can think of every great book that I've ever read that I wrote multiple reflections or that I got my brain thinking. I think you probably know within the first, maybe even in the introduction probably of the book, you probably know whether or not this is gonna be, I hit a little honey hole or not after a couple digs. You know what I mean? Correct me if I'm wrong. Every book that you've ever read that you're just like, oh yeah, I'm in. You probably knew it within the first.
A lot of times, with the excerpt of the book, you kind of know what kind of book it is, right?
Right.
And the thing is, in the excerpt, there are books that says nothing, and there are books that say something that say, hey, that's something I want to find out. That is a question for me to find answers to. So if that sparks a question, even from the excerpt, then that book's gonna be great, because you will learn something. There is a reflection or a lesson that will come out of it. There is a need to answer a beautiful question.
Right.
But
Yeah,
if an
I agree.
excerpt doesn't give you any of those things, the book generally is going to be pretty much bland, and it's going to say blah, blah, blah all the way through. And sometimes some book will give you things that are counterintuitive to what you believe in. You and I believe in balance and the enjoyment of life. We don't believe in eating a frog. To me, there's no need for me to go and put a dent in the universe. Someone else can do that. Right? Someone else with the
Steve Jobs can do that, you
ability,
know?
with the desire to do, because we're talking about
David Goggins can do that, man.
and everybody has their own personal core values and their own journey, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, and that everything's right if they do that. Because you're talking about, like, for example, back in a few episodes, we're talking about a rose in no man's land, right? We praise these nurses, okay, because these nurses, they are the one that need to express this TLC to these soldiers. But at the same time, so that is their calling. That is what make them who they are, and they must do that. But at the same time, you have to think about it. Without the soldiers, there won't be nurses.
True.
Right?
Well,
because the soldiers say,
and no man's land.
but the thing is, no man's land.
Why
is there no man's land? No man's land is these soldiers are being.
Yeah, they're at war. Yeah.
They are the infantry. You're infantry because you went into war, and why you want to war, because you feel the need to protect the weak ones. Right. You are a man. You are an honorable person. As that person, you do not want your country invaded and taken over, and your loved ones, especially the weak one, your mom, your sister, the nurses, all these weak ones, you feel the need to protect them. That is also their calling. So everyone has their particular set of core values that they need to express and live that. Right. And so whether or not eating the frog is right for you or digging holes is right for you, you know, because it tells you, hey, like if you think about it, for you to go and fight and protect, right? For you to, for example, for me right now, if somebody were to put a gun, like me and my wife were going down the street, and somebody put a gun and shoot the gun, I would step in front of her without even thinking, because that is my innate need to protect. Right? That's just a way that a person is made. It's not like you go logically and think about and weigh these values. You just do it. And so there are people who does that. But you think about in that scenario, right? There are things that to other people, to another person who isn't a man, right? You think, hey, that's eating a frog. That's hard to do. So for a soldier to go to war and fight and protect his country, protect his family, it is the same calling as a nurse needing to provide TLC to these injured soldiers.
Yeah, I agree. That's so meaningful.
If you dig the hole, it's not, so stop digging. If it is, then you will, and then you will. The thing is, there's no need for you to dig and say, oh well, the lesson we learned is, this guy keep digging, and eventually he found diamonds, right? Well, that's one out of a million.
That's fine. You can keep digging. Do you remember Love and Work, the book, The Red Threads? Right? This is like the red threads for me. If you dig a chapter or two into a book and you find something intriguing, then I'm going to keep digging, right? You find that red thread, keep pulling the thread. But if you don't find a red thread after you've been doing an activity for a month, and you're like, or, maybe give it a little more than a day, but there's you can't be too shallow. But once you've gone a little bit into an activity and you don't find that red thread, abandon ship.
This thing is, we have talked about lessons in the past. We're talking about following the footprint, right? The lioness footprint. If you don't see the first one, you don't see the second, how would you say, hey, I'm going to keep wandering until I find a footprint? Same thing with the first book we read, right? The first book we read, right? What did he say for you to do?
Follow your personal legend,
Follow the omens,
listen to the omens.
You have to look at the sign. You have to. If there's no, if you're looking, there's no sign. When will it come? There's no sign. If there's no sign, it's not what you're looking for. It is something else. Right. So there's no need. But once you have a need or a desire, a compelled desire. This is what I'm saying compelled. That it is who you are. You cannot logically say, hey, I don't want it. Just like, hey, I told you, hey, for some reason, I don't want to breathe. I'm going to stop breathing, right? It's not like, hey, it's something that compels you to say, I have to breathe. So that is the same thing with the core value. Might not be literally that way, but It's very similar.
It is the same way. It's
just
very
like
much the same way.
for you and me as a man, right? We need to marry to a woman. I don't want to be married to another man, right? You see? So we have that need, right? I need to marry to a person that I think is beautiful. And
Sure.
same thing for you. And so there is a need that that person have to have.
I suppose that person could be
not me and not you. That's what I'm saying. That's why you and I have a wife.
Right.
But you get it. It is a uncontrolled urge to fulfill that part. You have a role to play.
You want to pull the thread. I mean, once you find it, you immediately want to keep pulling it and go down that.
Yeah, Chris, you born a male. You don't want to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go and like you say, go marry another guy." It's like because my role.
I will say this: if their red thread was that, then that's fine. But like me,
I'm talking about to you specifically. Right. So everybody has their own, and I respect that. Do whatever you need to do. But as for me, I'm making an example of this particular unique individual. It has a certain set of combinations of genes, and that makes me true, right? Whether that makes me a beaver or whatever, that's who I am. And there is a certain thing because of that combination. I must do a certain thing. There is a role that I must fulfill. There is my responsibility. It's my fate to do so. My fate is to be a man, to have a wife, and to have kids, right? It's not my fate to go and have sex with a goat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to, because my body say, hey, that's not something that's desirable. But you get that everybody has a certain uncontrollable need. And like I'm saying a need and urge, or the thing that you have to fulfill to be that. And so that is something that you will do regardless of whether you think or tell yourself that I don't want to do it.
Yep. So I think I totally agree. Actually, I love doing these because you just made this clearer in my own head. You are right. There are people that can keep digging a hole that returns no fruits, no red threads, and maybe they end up discovering something way. Maybe they spend 20 years digging that hole, and maybe they stumble upon something that they're like, I finally found that red thread 20 years later. It was all worth it, and it's a game changer. Well, that's great.
Most people, it's not worth it because the thing is, in what I've seen, it's like if you don't have the joy of the act of doing it,
right,
you will not be happy because you say I make this $1 million or $1 trillion. It's like, I mean, you don't really want it because it isn't what you want to know. Let's say I go and I keep searching for a sunken treasure, right? Do I want a sunken treasure, or do I want something else?
Probably something.
I guarantee you do not want the sunken treasure. You want something else. You want a girl. You needed that sunken treasure to give you the ability to go and court this girl, or to go party, or to buy a yacht,
or maybe something prestige, to bring home
it isn't the treasure itself, but if you are an explorer, right? You love the act of exploration already. So to go and search for it, the act of searching it, it's already fun for you. If you are the other guy who found it, you're not going to be happy. Just like people who win the Olympic, right? What's my purpose now? Like, you are happy.
They dug a hole and they found a gold medal, and then they're like, well, shit, I just spent all this time digging a hole. I didn't even like digging the hole. And all I found was this stupid little gold medal at the end of it. And it's like, who cares? The moral of the story for me is it's okay immediately to reverse ship. The faster you can do that, the better. Because remember back to Adam Grant's book, Originals, and the reflection was volume is the key. Dig a lot of fucking holes. I don't love digging, but I love digging and finding something and then going deeper and finding more of that stuff that I've already found in that hole, right?
And another example I can give you
a lot of holes.
And then I can give you is there's like 100 cakes on the table, right? Do you eat all the cakes? Or you just eat a little bit, say, I like this one. And then you move on, right? Yes. And then you found the one you want. Then you eat all you want. You don't say, hey, there's 100 cake. Well, I eat it. I don't like this one. I think it's going to get better if I keep eating it.
Right.
Hey, there's no red thread. Stop eating.
Stop eating.
Same thing with like when I told you I opened the bottle, I'm thinking it's poison, right? The less I drink, the easier for people to save me. Because the more I drink it, it's like I went beyond saving.
If you had 100 bottles of wine, and somebody said, hey, this is the most expensive bottle of wine that exists in this world, and you take a sip of it, and you're like, that's garbage. But they're like, well, no, try it again. Just keep drinking. Like you'll find all this special, stuff that you've never even thought you would find. And you're like, okay, all right, take another sip. And you're like, that wasn't that good. This happens all the time when you drink wine. That still wasn't that good. They're telling me all this magical stuff of like why this is going to be a great bottle of wine and why I should be experiencing this and smelling this and tasting this and feeling this. And then I'm like, no, that's not good. It's not any good, right? Well, just like you're saying, a lot of times people keep going on these wines. Maybe they'll drink 30 bottles of that same wine and they're like, I think I get it. I think I finally get why I.
How many people have done that? Have ever successfully go to drink so much wine that they finally get it? And what is logically and probabilistically, what is the percentage of people who actually found that at the last drop of the bottle of wine, say, hey, I have gone through thousands, hundreds of millions of bottles, and I found this one. If you keep drinking this one, the last drop is really good.
It's way better than the first drop.
So the thing is, a lot of people take a lesson out of context, right? Because it's not the same thing. You cannot take something. This like another context. I'll tell you. Say people say, "Hey, what doesn't kill you make you stronger?" Right? That is one context in one specific scenario, and they take it and apply it everywhere. Yeah, so the same thing with the whole digging.
This is David Goggins shit, by the way. I'm gonna finish his book because he has an interesting story. That's the only reason why. No, I know it's kind of counterintuitive because I'm saying, but he's actually entertaining me in his story, right? But like his message of basically what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and to take your pain and channel. Like, I'm gonna reserve my comments until after it's done. But I'm not saying he's not a remarkable person. Actually, I'm really interested. He's a very intriguing person. He's an extreme.
But
person.
The thing is,
he's extreme.
Yeah, the extremity is that that's who he is. He cannot tell people to say, "Hey, be like me." Say, "This is what I've done." No, you already have the build. You already have the gene. You already have the DNA that makes you that person. Be that person. Congratulations, good for you. I'm happy for you. But it is wrong for you to say, "Hey, doing these things will make me this person." No, you already that person. It just accentuates and brings out in the thing that you do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you eat cake. I say, well, if you keep eating cake, eventually you're gonna love it. But the thing is, for that person, because he has a rare, allergies to the cake, he will die. So David Goggins can't go say, "Hey, do this, become like me." No, no. You are who you are because of who you are as God made you.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, and how life has molded you too. In his particular instance, I mean, the guy's got so much trauma that he has experienced in his life. But
I'm saying is, yes,
I don't even know if he even knows why he's doing what he's doing,
thinking that drama is make your trauma is make who you are. No one knows if that. Maybe if you had a better childhood, you would have been better than you are today. So you can't say that drama makes who you are today. Yes, in a logical way, yes, but it's not because of drama. We don't know that. We don't know that what makes you who you are. Because I'm Michael Jordan, I'm 6'5", okay, and I say, well, I do a lot of weight every day. Even when I was like 5 years old, I do weight, right? I do a lot of weight. This is why I'm 6'5", right? This is what makes me who I am. But you and I know that when you are younger and you're growing and you do weight, it will stall your growth. So if I hadn't did the weight, I would have been 7 foot. So the thing is, how do you know whether or not that makes you who you are, or what's making you who you less than what you're supposed to be? This is why we as a company advocate that your journey is yours alone. No one can take it for. No one can travel the journey for you. Right. Only you can do it. And I can go on my own journey. You go on your own journey. This is why. Think about it. The thing is, you are an individual, and who you are is who you are.
Agreed. I think trauma brings out more of who you are, and it makes you get clearer as to who you are before. To your point,
there's no evidence of that. No. Because there's not a way for you to do a control.
No, I know. Hang on. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that you are who you are, and if anything, trauma helps to push you more toward who you are. If anything, in my personal opinion. But I'm agreeing with you because I'm not saying that it enhances who you are. I'm saying that it just points you even further to see who you be.
It makes you that person. Like I say, if I would 6'5", but I'm supposed to be 7 foot, like in another parallel universe, I'm 7 foot. If I were to do weights, then I'm 6'5", right? But because I was already taught and say, well, I'm 6'5", and the average, male is like 5'10", 5'11", right? That means I'm better now because I did these, right? You are using a metric out of context.
I hear what you're saying.
Hey, I am this strong person.
I think you're talking about trauma as in
I'm talking about
how it hinders.
I'm talking about no one knows why you turn out that way.
Yeah.
And there's not a single variable that does that, and there's no way for you to prove it or to give you evidence of that, because we don't have a parallel universe.
True. Some of the shit
for people to talk about in a book and tell people this is how you should do it as well is a bunch of garbage, and that will actually become poison to other people.
Agree.
Because if they do something that's not theirs, like if you're on Beaver and I say, well, I'm strong, you do this, you become strong. It's like, no, I do this, I become the worst Beaver ever. And even less than a lion, and then I can't be anything. At least if I do what I do, then at least I'm being a good Beaver.
That is the message that is coming across right now. I'm 3 chapters into David Goggins' book, and that is the message that is coming across, exactly what you just said, of like, you just got to stay hard, man. You just got to be hard. You just got to do what I do and just mentally push through, do the shit that you don't want to do, and like just keep going.
Bullshit.
No, I know this. I'm going to keep reading only because I'm actually very intrigued at extremities, right? For me, this is a red thread for me of watching people that are extreme people and trying to go, okay, what did they learn at the extremes that maybe I can take back to make myself more balanced? So for me, this is why it is pulling on a red thread.
I mean, the thing is, I'm okay with extreme is not good, because I can give you a very simplistic example. Let me turn on the fucking heat. Like, let's say I fucking turn on the heat for let's say I make the sun stays on your fucking face for 24 hours. They're gonna burn your fucking face up. You need balance. This is what I'm saying is we advocate balance, because the thing is, let's imagine the sun never sets. Let's say the sun never sets. It's gonna be fucking hot. It's gonna be like 400 degrees. The reason why we need to go down, because hey, it's hot enough, we go down, and then when let's say the sun never come up, right? You only have the moon. It's gonna be fucking cold.
Right.
So it has to be balanced. This is something that you give me good reason why balance isn't the thing you need to do.
You're not gonna. There's no argument out of me. I mean, this is
what you want extreme. You want an extremity, right? Go drink gallons and gallons of water in 5 minutes. I dare David Goggins to drink, massive gallons of water in 5 minutes. He will die because your body can't handle it. So that's who you are. So,
do you know his code word? Or not his code word, his little slogan. I didn't know this was his slogan until I was reading this book. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's get hard.
Get hard.
Get hard. Get hard. And he says it all the time. Stay hard. And I'm like, I don't know. If somebody walked up to me, man, was like,
I mean, to me, that's not logical at all.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to? I mean, true. I don't want to go down this road right now, because we can save it for the David Goggins reflection.
I mean, you think about it. Okay, let me talk to the man in the audience, okay? Let's say you drink Viagra and you constantly have Viagra all the time.
Get hard.
You're hard all the time, right? Okay. Have somebody tried that?
Yeah, I think
it's fucking painful.
Yeah, right. It is. No, it is. I mean, this is like the shit. Oh my god, dude. The Dave. So the chapter I just finished was his fluctuating life all over the place. It's total ups and downs and roller coasters, and he had a horrible childhood, right? Like, so I mean, it's really sad, honestly, what his childhood was like. And then he gets to,
but don't embrace of sadness.
No, he's not.
I mean, the only way for a person to keep go hard and stay hard, they are trying to distract themselves from the pain. If they embrace the sadness, embrace the pain, the only way for you to not have the pain is to distract yourself with another pain. And to me, that isn't
doing. This is exactly what he's doing. Like, you're spot on with what you just said. It is exactly the same thing that I'm hearing as he's talking, and like there's no purpose behind his actions other than to run away from pain. It sounds like, right, and just to keep running and being.
You're ignoring the pain. You need, like in the case of your dashboard turns on, and you basically like, hey, smash it.
Get fucking hard. That's what he says.
It's like
it's on, get hard. Like so, and then it's like comes back on, stay hard. So swear to God, like listen to this extremity, right? So the guy is out of shape. He's 300 pounds or whatever. This is when he's in his young adulthood after he had a horrible childhood. And he kind of flamed out of the paramilitary school that he wanted to join for no reason other than he met this guy that was like a really incredible paramilitary guy. And he was like, I'm going to do that. And then he like got super obsessed, and then he kind of flamed out. And then he went, he actually lived in Indianapolis. Like, I didn't know this. I mean, this is fucking weird, man. Like the last two books, John Green and now David Goggins. So he's talking about how he's in Indianapolis. He's a bug exterminator, or like an exterminator for some company. And he's 300 pounds, and I forget exactly what happened, but he ended up having to go home, or he was really depressed about like a shitty day. And he comes home and he ends up seeing this SEAL training, show on like reality TV. And he's like, that's what I want to do. Like, I'm going to go be a SEAL. Not because you said like, I want to go protect my country. Not because I'm like, I feel like, we have people to defend. He's like, no, I just want to go physically challenge myself and extremities and, do all this. He was like, I'm going to fucking do this. So he's 300 pounds.
You go become a SEAL, you have no duties, right? I mean, you're selfish, and being a part of the SEAL, that's not what a SEAL's supposed to be.
Right. This isn't just it's not just being a professional athlete. Like I think he sees as a SEAL as like somebody that's just like a mentally strong.
It's not a competition. It's not a show.
It's a fucking show.
People's life, and the whole thing. They want to give you a mission, right? I say, well, I'm just going here because I want to get buff, right? To me, that is just like misaligned out the gate.
So he's at the recruiter's office, and he's like, hey, I want to re-enlist, and I want to go be a Navy SEAL. And the recruiter's like, God, he went to a few of them. They passed on him. And he finally got to this one guy that was like, all right, I see your determination. You're way overweight. You need to lose 107 pounds. He had 3 months before the next SEAL training qualification period. You have to lose 107 pounds in order to qualify weight wise in the next 3 months to be able to be admitted into the training. And he was like, go for it. Try it. So he did. So every day he ate like no food. He worked out like 9 hours a day almost. He either did cycling or swimming, or eventually he got up to jogging because he just wasn't able to physically go jog for a while. Then he would go do weights. He did this for 9 hours a day for 3 months straight. He lost 107 pounds in 3 months. Like, I mean, that is insane. And then he's talking about how he learned all this mental strength and whatever. By the time I got into SEALs, he's like, hey, this is just make me even better. I mean, I'm already on this road anyway. Like, let's fucking bring it on. This is not normal. And this is even just like try to push yourself. This is insanity.
The thing is, people can be insane all they want. And if that's who they are and they enjoy, that's fine. Just don't tell other people to do it.
But don't be an influencer of people, like, and be like, hey, insanity works. Like,
No, it works for you. That's
right,
fine.
exactly.
But my point, the reason why I'm so worked up right now is because it do people a disservice for these kind of people who go in there and spread the wrong message, because it works for him because that is who he is, and that's great. But everybody is not the same. They have their innate need to do certain things, and you say, well, you gotta find that need, not the need that not how I did it. If you can take inspiration from me because you feel drawn to it, then yeah, do it. But don't say, hey, this is how I do it. You should do it too. People are gonna do that, and they're going to derail their life. Just like I say, hey, I'm a beaver and I'm trying to be a lion, right? My life is miserable because I can't be anything great, really good, because I can't be my own self really well.
I agree. Look, this guy, he's got a remarkable story, but like, stay
and
hard.
That's great, and that's great.
Up.
But my that's what I'm saying is, I kind of like get worked up by the fact that it's a massive.
This is not replicatable,
and it's a disservice to the people. Yes. It's basically deception in a way. It's deception because hey, be like me. This is how I do it.
100%. It should work for 100% of the people.
Exactly. Like, it should be 100% of everybody who does it. Don't say results are typical. That's his deception. When you do deception, which is against my second core values, right? You know me, my second core value is really high, which is what? Integrity.
Integrity, yeah, right.
It goes against, that's why I'm so worked up, because you have your own core values, and I feel the need to express my anger at this. It's not like I want to, I'm compelled to, because one of my core values is integrity, right? Why does it make you but boy? Because you have a certain core value. Who makes you who you are has that component, and that component is in you, and it makes you but
it's
boy.
Because you don't want to. You don't be a Navy SEAL because you want to fucking stay hard. Like, you be a Navy SEAL because you want to, protect your country. You want to be a part of an elite group of people that are doing elite things to protect your country. You don't join the military to stay hard. Like, and to just challenge yourself. Like, that's not why you join the fucking military. Sure, that may be why some people do it, but like, it's purposeless shit is what he's talking about, right? Like, the stuff that he's saying, stay hard for what? Like, what am I saying hard for, David? Like, what am I getting hard for, David? Like, I mean, this is I don't understand, like, and maybe I haven't gotten to it in the book yet, but there's never been anything that I've heard.
Maybe you drink all of the bottom wine, eventually last drop, you will appreciate.
Like, if the purpose is just to get hard the entire book, and that's what you're going to leave me with, this is giving me extreme ownership vibes, where I'm like, I get it, but like, you're in war. That's not applicable to day-to-day life. I can take your idea of it's my fault and I can fix it, but that does not mean that I gotta be psychotic about it.
Because then you think about it, don't get me wrong. If there's war, I will go and I will fight, right? And I will endure. This is the word, we endure. If there is a fucking medic, like some kind of plant in Mount Everest, right, and that's going to save my family or save the world, whatever, I will go. I will endure all the harshness, take all the risk of dying there. I will embrace the suck if I have to. But if no one is sick, no one needs to go get that plant up on the top of Mount Everest, why am I going up there? But you get my point, right?
Yeah, no, I do totally get it.
It's not to say that I won't do it. It's to say that what is the reason for you to do that?
What's the point? Like, what's the purpose? What, like, you're like, anyway, we're down a rabbit hole with David Goggins, so I'm going to save it, because it is. I'm not informed enough on his life yet to continue down this road. All I'm giving you is my first initial impressions, and it kind of is applicable to this reflection, because a part of me is going like, I don't agree with anything that this guy's saying. However, his life is it's such a train wreck that I honestly can't turn away. There is a red thread that's pulling me in. Maybe that's why so many people have read his book, because it's like, it's a fucking shit show. Like, his fucking life's a shit show, honestly. Like,
people are drawn to shit show.
He's like, his childhood was truly tragic. He was beaten mercilessly by his father. Him and his mother, same thing. His mom was beaten. They ran away. They lived in poverty after they ran away. Then he went to a small town in Indiana where his grandparents lived, and then he was like, tormented by racism and things, and people, because he was like the only black kid in a really rural hick town in Indiana. And, then from there, he, didn't ever learn anything in childhood or in school. And, so he had no real education, and then, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, like, it is kind of a tragic story as a youngster, right? I mean, it's very, and then the stuff.
But then I have also come across many other life stories that's, it's 10 times worse than that. So,
oh yeah,
what's the excuse? I mean, that's the thing. Is what I'm saying, right, is that it's no excuse to say, hey, my story is bad, I'm gonna write a book and tell people about it.
No, that's not what's going on. He's just setting the stage. So he is the prototypical boomerang, in my opinion. The pendulum, right? Remember the Kabbalion, life has polarity, whatever, all that stuff, right? His pendulum swung so far to the negative when he was a kid, and he had no idea. He could not process it, didn't understand it.
This is the balance. This is the balance I'm talking about, because you
swinging all the way back,
so
right?
far that it's going to swing all the way back. And that is the balance, because you have so much negative energy, right? It has to go to the other side. This is what I'm talking about, balance. But if you never have to go that, right? That is your mode of the pendulum, right? Other people have a shorter one. You can't tell them, right?
Hey, you're pretty balanced right now. Go hard.
Because the thing is, he swings all the way to the other side, and now he swings all the way back, and somebody's saying, hi, I'm just nuts. Now I want to go all the way to the end like him. It's like, that's not possible.
It shouldn't be.
You have to have a balance, right? Because if your mode is only this much, right? You swing from here to there. That's it. But if you're longer, then you swing. But you can't stay here and go to the other. It cannot be imbalanced. So if you don't have the extremity of a childhood, you can never be extreme like David. Like I say, he is who he is because of who he is. It's not because
Right.
he did something. There's
Yeah.
that, right?
Well, I mean,
Circumstances push
it
him
did,
to.
but he's not in control of it. Is the point? He's not in control.
No one is in control of you, and I are not in control of our destiny. Okay, I'm telling you this because I'm giving you a very basic example. Stop breathing. See what happens. Are you in control of yourself? No, your body controls you.
Right.
Your body say, hey, let's say you drink, gallons of alcohol. And can you tell your fucking headache to go away? So are you in control of yourself? No. So you can't say, hey, I made this happen. No fucking shit. You did not. Circumstances
I
push
agree.
you, and you have to. It's like if somebody punches me in the face, right? The only thing I can do is like I follow the punch.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. My action is because somebody punched me. I'm the effect of a cause.
Yeah, you could get hard.
Yeah, you can get hard.
We got to put a pin on this one for the night. All right. So what we can leave everybody with, the final question for you is, are you giving yourself permission to return nothing sometimes from your search, and that's okay. Like, just recognize when you found nothing and move on. Don't dig deeper. Now, there is a red thread with this David Goggins book. I'm going to go dig deeper because there's something to find here, and I will find it, or I won't. But either way, I want to go explore it. So I'm still into it. Obviously, we're having a fun conversation about it. So there's something that's pulling me in here. So I'm going to keep exploring it. But all right, thanks for joining, and we will see you all tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Good night.